Now, welcome to this week's video. It's something completely different this week. You probably think I'm down on the main road near a building site, but I'm not. I'm actually here at Happy Doggo land, which regular viewers will know as an oasis of calm in the middle of the jungle where we help the street dogs. But unfortunately, about 3 days ago, all these diggers arrived, and what they've done is they've cleared all the land. I'd say it's about the size of about 3 or 4 football fields. There's trucks coming in from every side, there's diggers on the other side. They have absolutely taken all the land away. That used to be pristine jungle. If I show you where I'm at, I'm actually on Hope Avenue, the end of it. So this would have been a very peaceful place. It's where the likes of Mr. Big can come and relax and really enjoy himself and rehabilitate themselves. I used to look out there and it used to be pure jungle. Megan, who edits the video, will put a sort of drone footage in to show how peaceful it was beforehand, but unfortunately our world has been shattered in the last 72 hours, and I wanted to talk you through that process. This isn't a video about looking for solutions or trying to find money or anything like that. I just want to tell you what it's like working with dogs and all the problems that we encounter on a daily basis. I'm guessing the sound has probably been picked up as well. The diggers are noisy. The dogs haven't been affected massively yet. They don't. I mean, the only thing they're doing is they're up there getting food off the workmen. It's not the workmen's fault. They're just doing their job, driving the diggers. But just behind me is Hope Avenue. They're coming right into the edge. Literally onto the edge with their diggers and looking out what was, pristine jungle full of birds and snakes and, wildlife is now gone. It means, I don't know what it means exactly, but I'm going to talk you through it in this video. It's a big change, that's for sure. And luckily I can stay positive in these sort of situations, but I wanted to talk you through some of the things that are happening here and just in general what a challenge it is to help dogs on a daily basis. Mr. Big isn't too worried about the diggers, but anyway, let's jump in. I'm going to tell you about a few of the dogs and a few of the solutions we have coming. Now, one of the hardest things that we have here are dogs who don't make it. There's quite a lot. Like if I just look there, that's little Derek's remembrance tree. I'm sure a lot of you will remember Derek. We have some very sick dogs who come here, and I think a lot of you watch the miraculous recoveries and we love seeing those, but I wanted to talk to you about the ones that really have a tough time. And this boy here is an absolute beauty. His name is Bobo, B-O-O-B-O-O. He's, according to the lady who looked after him, she thinks she's been looking after him for 20 years, which seems like a long time to me, but he's definitely an older boy. But unfortunately he's been hit by a truck or a car or something big, and he's paralyzed. He's been at the vets today. It's to do with his discs. But he's also very, very old. If you look at him, he also has a bit of a bashed up eye, don't you, mister? That's a very big bash of an eye you have. You can see his teeth are very worn down. Now, in all reality, Sybil's helps us a lot, and she's going to see what she can do for Bobo. But there's a lot of cases like this that come in where there's very little that we can do. I mean, he's not a dog that we can rehome. He's too old. He's not a dog that can stay on the streets. So we're really relying on somebody like Sybil to take this dog into her care, which is a huge ask. And the reason I share him is there's about 10 or 15 dogs like this at the moment on the go in the various different places. And I always think a dog should have a home, he should have a big couch to live on, but that's not the reality. This poor fella is incontinent. He has a lot of injuries in terms of open wounds where he's dragging himself around because he can't feel his back legs. He can't feel most of his body, to be honest. But he's there's not much hope for him, if I'm being honest. You know, like we might be able to give him a bit of comfort in his life. But what I wanted to explain was just how many of these situations there are. I mean, if you go up onto my dog feeding round at the moment, we've got 2 dogs with abscesses, which are pretty bad, Thumper and Mr. Handsome. There's also some dogs up there, the introverts, which are some that I've been feeding for close to 2.5 years now. They have villas, exactly the same as happening here with the diggers. There's villas being built there in their little happy place where they've been for over 2.5 years. So what's really worrying there, and people don't want to hear this, but a lot of times when villas get built, nobody's going to buy a villa with 6 stray dogs around it. So it's not uncommon for dogs to get poisoned. I'm not saying that's necessarily going to happen in this situation up there, but it's gutting when that happens. So I've got that worry to hang on to. And the other big worry is obviously Shadow and Mr. Floofer, 2 of the dogs that I love. They just moved with their land got cleared again. Developers cleared their land and they've moved somewhere, but I can't find them. And I know they're safe because they've got a little man who picks coconuts and his wife who look after them, but I don't know where they're at. And they're dogs that I love like pets, so it's really, really worrying. But these are just things that I have an answer. I'm going to go into the office now and explain it to you. I have an answer on how to deal with this. I just wanted to sort of explain how much gets thrown at you when you're helping dogs. And if you notice, there's a common thread here. He's been hit by a car. The people over there are digging up are humans. The people up, the introverts are humans. The torture is humans. There's a lot of humans doing a lot of damage to a lot of dogs. And the same all around the world. The fact that the stray dog problem exists, I think, is human based. They're man's best friend. They're the animals that we love, but people have just neglected them over the years. So that's bad, but we're going to fix that. Absolutely determined. But this lovely boy, if there's one thing that we've got him now, is his dignity. He's got painkillers. He's just been for a full vet check. Oh, he's up and about. Look at that. He's up and about. You can see he's struggling. He's trying to get comfortable. You can see there how his whole back end is struggling. Let me go into the office. I'm going to go and tell you that even though all these problems are here, we can fix them. What would help us though is if you could hit the subscribe button. That just keeps my spirits up to see the subscribers coming in, because I know it helps us fix more dogs. So one quiet place that I have to come here are the shipping containers. So just ship these in, very, very temporary. But I'm going to go in here and actually tell you about some solutions and some ways that we're thinking about this. We obviously have a lot of problems. Mario's in here with me as always. Obviously have a lot of problems, but problems are nothing new. We have those on a daily basis, and what I like to do is come in and look at, some of the adoptions boards. Who can I see up there? My God, my names have gone. Pims, she's called now. Brad Pitt, Hope over in England, some of the Spice Girls. What gives me great encouragement is the dogs. So nothing really matters. Apologies while I just set that camera up. Nothing really matters in this world for me apart from the dogs. Yes, there's bulldozers at the end of the Hope Avenue. There's bulldozers coming in from both sides of Hope Avenue, and it's very worrying, and you don't sleep very well. We've also got the dogs that I showed you. Bobo is, he's probably not going to make it. That's pretty clear. I have a couple of dogs on the streets that are in very bad places. 2 missing with Brad Pitt and Mr. Floofer. I have some developments up there, housing developments where dogs are in huge danger of being poisoned or chased away at best. So there's a monumental amount of stuff that's going wrong, but not even wrong, just challenges is the way I look at it. But the way I think about all these things is, and this is the point of the video, I was an alcoholic. I suffered from depression, and I ended up in hospital, pretty much drank myself to death. Like I really, really did. It was that serious. And when you've seen stuff like that and been that bad, I also talked in the book about, seeing domestic abuse from my mom and stuff like that. When you've seen stuff like that, like this is nothing. Like this doesn't even like get my heart rate up, because there's always a solution. Do you know what I mean? There's always there's people right now around the world who are getting bombed. There's people who've just had cancer diagnoses. There's people who've lost their kids. People who've died in car crashes. Whatever. The worst things in the world that you can think of are going on right now. What have I got to deal with? A couple of diggers at the end of the road. Some dogs that I have to move around. Like every day, we're having huge successes. And the way I look at it is like this will turn out to be an opportunity. Like maybe we just go an awful lot bigger. Maybe we design the hospital in a slightly different way. Maybe we cordon off the Happy Doggo land and make it an even bigger paradise. Like I'm just looking at this as opportunities. And I know I might seem foolish, but there's no point shutting down mentally and saying, oh my God, this is a disaster. What am I going to do? The facts are the facts. You deal with them and you fix each problem as you see it in front of you. I'm looking at Mario underneath the table here in front of me. He had a broken leg. He had been beaten up. He was black and blue. He was in a terrible, terrible shape at the end of the road. And now he's running around after me, eating. He's jumping on the moped. And that was just a couple of months ago. So you see the same with Taylor. She was tied up. Mr. Big was in the toilets, covered in fleas. I see dogs all the time who were at the end of the road and they make amazing comebacks. I know personally from being in hospital, like I was in hospital looking at the bleeps on the machine thinking like, just please stop. Like, my body's too sore. I've drank too much, taken too many drugs. Just stop and everything will be better, And luckily I turned around from that and it did get better. But my point is things are never as bad as they seem. It might be stressful, looking at diggers, looking at the landscape cleared, looking at the nice, quiet, peaceful place we had for the dogs. But, there's shelters out there who are crammed into cities, who are overflowing, who have no resources, who are doing their best or nothing. And I'm here still in the jungle with sunshine and palm trees and dogs that are getting healthy. So it's my stuff to deal with and I will deal with it. And you got to just play the hand you're given. So believe it or not, I don't know why, but I'm stupidly optimistic right now and it's time to push on and do even better things. So all these problems will be solved. Even Mr. Bobo, who is in a bad way, he's off at the vet. He's getting the best care. He's getting the best pain care. He's got Sybil, who's probably the best in the world with paralyzed dogs. She's got 23 of her own. He is getting gold star treatment towards the end of his life. So everything is fixable. You just keep a positive attitude and you move on. So yeah, thanks for watching. I just wanted to explain my mindset really and explain that things are never quite as bad as they seem. I mean, I'm looking at I can see the digger right now and I wish they'd go away, but it's life and you move on. So thanks very much for watching everybody. If you liked the video, if you're still watching, which I highly doubt, a subscribe or a like or a comment would be massively appreciated. Don't worry, don't panic. Nobody needs to jump in with help or money or anything like that. It's not that sort of situation. I'll figure stuff out over time. It's not going to be overnight, but we'll get there. So thanks very much for watching everybody and see you next time.